Now, what they're not telling you is that if water gets underneath this floor, it sits there and does not go anywhere. Vinyl flooring is great, but it's not 100% waterproof as most people lead you to believe. Today we're in Laurel Hollow, Long Island, doing a basement renovation for a customer. Whenever we do basement renovations, the topic that always comes up is, what do I do with the floor? You got a lot of issues to contend with in the basement: moisture, water, integrity of the existing floor, stuff like that. Every job we go on, we always have a long conversation with the customer on what to do. So we're gonna do a quick rundown on all the different types of floor that you can do in your basement. Number one is carpet. Carpet's old, it's the easy way to do a basement floor. Major issue with carpet is water. Any type of water that touches carpet, the carpet's gone. Soaking wet, you gotta pull it up, dry it out, put it back down, you got mold underneath. Highly suggest against doing any kind of carpet in the basement. We do the stairs in carpet, but not the main floor. Option number two would be ceramic tile or porcelain tile on the basement floor. Now, the pros of this floor: amazing water qualities. The basement could flood and the tile's fine. You have to clean it up, wipe any mold off, stuff like that, but the integrity of the floor will be 100% perfect. The downside of tile is the cost. Tile is extremely labor intensive, and the building materials to install the tile, the thin set, has gotten very costly over the years. So you have the square foot price of the tile, but you also have to account for all of the bags of thin set and the extended time it's gonna take to put that floor down for labor. So if you had to ask me in qualities of floors, tile is number one if you have the budget for the tile. Number three is our most common selection for basement flooring. This came out, I wanna say 10, 15 years ago, but recently became popular in basements due to its affordability and ease of installation. This is vinyl click-together flooring. What this is a top layer of vinyl with a layer underneath of a rubber-like material, and then a backing padding underneath. So this backing padding replaces traditional underlayment, so that this floor can just go direct to any concrete floor. It's great, easy to put down. You can do 1,000 square foot basement in 2 days compared to tile, which would take 2 weeks. Something that we like to add for our basement floors, if we have the budget for it, is what's called an underlayment. So this one that we're using today is a cork-based underlayment. So what this does is it gives us a vapor barrier and more cushion on the floor. So when the underlayment goes down, then we put the vinyl on top. Now when you feel it and you walk on it, you won't hear that hollow noise underneath. It adds a little cushion and protective barrier between the concrete and the vinyl floor. So let's talk about the water qualities of vinyl floor. So when you look at the boxes of vinyl flooring, they almost always say waterproof, zero worry, stuff like that. It's kind of misleading in the representation that they're showing you, in that this floor is waterproof from the top. So if you were to dump 5 gallons of water on here, the majority of the water would sit on top. If you vacuum it up quick enough, you won't have any issues with the floor. You won't have any warping or bubbling or anything that you would have with, say, a laminate or a real wood floor. See how the water just sits on top of the floor? Doesn't get sucked into the floor, doesn't go anywhere, it just sits there. So that means that if you spill all that water and you clean it up fast enough, there's zero damage to your floor underneath. Now, what they're not telling you is that if water gets underneath this floor, it sits there and does not go anywhere. This layer here is meant to keep the water from coming up through the floor. So now you'll get a flood, the water will sit underneath, and you'll hear squishing. And what you'll get is the water coming up through the cracks. So vinyl flooring is great, but it's not 100% waterproof as most people lead you to believe. But what it does do is, if you get a little bit of water underneath, pull the floor up, we dry it out, leave it for a couple days to dry, and then we put it back together like a puzzle. So in conclusion, when you're going to do your basement renovation, have a real deep, in-depth conversation with your contractor on all the benefits and negatives of what flooring you're putting in the basement. Obviously, cost is one of the major factors, but also, do you have water in your basement? Is it moist? Is there a lot of humidity? All of these factors play a part in what flooring you're going to select for your basement renovation.